So, welcome back to the show. And y'all already know what that show is. It is the Backport Sports Podcast with your man Fonz.
And Quan.
Hey, brother. How's everything going? I know it's Tuesday, I ain't been asking you for the past couple of weeks because I've been having them same types of Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So,
Another day, you know how that go.
yeah, like my man SpongeBob said, another day, another nickel. But
What?
thank y'all for tuning into the show and being a part of this ride. And we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. So here we go. So we're doing another questions from the War Room show. And I have to admit, these questions really made me do my homework, especially the first few of them. And the last one really made me do my homework because I'm not an NBA guy, but we'll get there when we get there. So we're going to go ahead and jump off. So Keith Wright, my guy Keith, he asked the first question: which teams made the best offseason changes for the better, and how will it enhance their positioning to a playoff run? Now, granted, he didn't specify either this year or next year, but I'm going to go ahead and tackle that question. So, in my opinion, by far, the team who made the best, in my opinion, as far as acquisitions and setting up the offseason, got to be the Chicago Bears. Got to be. Because this is who they added this offseason. They added Keenan Allen. They added center Ryan Bates. They added Kevin Byard III. They added tight end Gerald Everett. They added a safety Jonathan Owens. Don't know about Jonathan Owens like that. They added a guard Matt Pryor. They added another center Coleman Shelton. And they added running back DeAndre Swift on top of drafting Caleb Williams. I mean, just to give a brief description, the Bears really showed a lot of growth during the 2023 season. Even though they did trade off Justin Fields, they traded him to the Steelers right at the beginning of free agency. But I kind of like what they did.
Yeah.
So I really feel like with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, I really feel like that's going to be a very underrated receiver duo.
Yeah.
And then they added depth to the offensive line. Now, let me correct myself. From the past couple of shows, and I was just bagging on those Carolina Panthers. They did address the offensive line in free agency. But, and that's all fine and good, but at the same time, this is like I was telling the guys, this past draft was possibly the best draft that grabbed you some offensive linemen. But that's neither here nor there.
Right.
But and the biggest move they did outside of all of that is they got rid of their offensive coordinator. And they replaced them with Shane Waldron, who helped Geno Smith have a career resurgence. He was the reason why Geno Smith won Comeback Player of the Year. But Chicago Bears. That's my pick for that.
Yeah, I think you definitely stole my pick on that. I definitely concur with you on the Bears. They made a lot of great, accusations to the team. Should help them. Maybe not this year, but definitely next year. I'm excited to see, what else they bring forward. Like you said, that's pretty much like one of the best wide receiver corps in the NFL. As far as names go, gave Caleb Williams a lot of weapons and stuff to build upon this offseason and throughout the season this year. So I think, they did they just do. I really can't think of another team outside of the Steelers that kind of had a good offseason. I mean, with the quarterback and stuff like that, with the draft and everything. So, yeah, I concur with you on the Bears. I think, honestly, they probably had, if not the best offseason as far as signings and everything.
Yeah, they really, like you said, they really prepared Caleb Williams for this season. Yeah. Now, as far as the playoff run this year, I am not sure because that team still has to gel. But maybe within the next season, maybe we'll see them contend. At least get a wild card spot. Maybe the last wild card spot in the NFC.
Maybe it's a
But
tough division. So
yeah, boy, you got a lot going on in that division right now, but it's tough. But y'all can do it.
you wait your turn.
Wait your turn. You know, it's like a merry-go-round. You got to stand in line and wait. That's all you got to do. Stand there and wait. You be all right. So next question. This came from Kahari Stevens, D. Ward Stevens, and he says, he asked, is it just me, or did the Lakers lowball Hurley just to look like there was another candidate while all along they were pleasing LeBron James? Now, who is Hurley? That he was referring to Dan Hurley, the head basketball coach, two-time champion from UConn. He was in line at the Lakers, offered him $70 million to be their next head coach. I'm gonna tell you something about $70 million. Offer me $70 million to be your head coach. I will gladly coach you to last place. And so he declined the offer with a report suggesting that he wanted to go for a third consecutive NCAA national championship at UConn. I kind of get that, you know. I mean, college coaching money is not NBA money, but at the same time, you know.
There's less stress, I think.
Yeah, I mean, because honestly, you got a bunch of one and dones there, and but let's move on.
Yeah.
He also pointed out that the Lakers' offer wasn't exactly agreeable with Hurley's value on the current market. Now, $70 million, like I said, is a lot of money, but do I think the Lakers lowballed Hurley? Let's talk about the Lakers for a second. The Lakers, to me, historically speaking, are like the Patriots, if you will. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers won all the time, especially back in the day. But when you got coaches like Eric Spoelstra, Greg Popovich, Steve Kerr, even Ty Lue, that signed extensions that pay them way more, I can understand why he feel like he got lowballed. But short answer, yeah.
I don't know. That's really a good, tricky question. Pleasing LeBron, I don't think that's definitely not in this case. I think somewhat they did lowball him. I mean, if you look at the contracts of others, like you mentioned, I mean, $70 million is a partial of somebody else's salary. But also, you got to realize what that coach is stepping into. You know, Mr. Ham, the former coach, he didn't have too many great, successful seasons. And honestly, I mean, when you have LeBron and AD already there, I don't think they want to pay them, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough one. I mean, the as far as the numbers, yes, they did. I mean, $70 million compared to what Steve Kerr makes or what Mike Malone makes over there in Denver. You know, that's different. But you got to realize what they're trying to do here. They're trying to actually rebuild the Lakers. So yeah, so like my man Fonz said, the short answer, yeah.
And I look at it like this. You're looking at the Lakers. You're looking at LeBron, it's been speculation that this upcoming season could possibly be his last season. And then you still got AD on the team. And I'm looking at it like, okay, if I was a coach, I would not go there because you're expected to win now.
Most
against all odds. And it's not just with the fans of that team. I'm talking about the media. You're expected to win now. Why? Because you're the coach of the Lakers. You got to go. You know what I'm saying? Phil Jackson. I mean, come on. The Lakers had legendary coaches.
Yeah.
But going back
they got
to
a legendary player right now.
Yeah. And then going back to Don Hurley, this man, I mean, 2 consecutive national championships, and he wanted to go back for a third one. Hey, get your money from the NCAA. That's all I got to say.
And also to mention, I mean, you are coming from college. I mean, that's not saying that you can't coach, but the transition they're not going to pay you that money that the other NBA coaches is playing the first year that you coming out from the NCAA. You know what I mean? So you
that is
also
facts.
it's a business standpoint, but yeah.
But they hired JJ Redick. I don't get that one.
I don't get it either.
Don't
ask me. Don't even look at me about it.
Lakers. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I don't know where they got that from, but nevertheless, maybe it's a. I don't know what's going on. Don't ask me. I ain't in charge of the books.
Y'all should have went and paid a call to Mike D'Antoni for somebody.
I'm trying to tell you somebody, JJ Redick.
JJ Redick, man. Y'all could have. GD Buss used to. I mean, GD Buss used to mess around with Phil Jackson. You should have maybe called him. Let's give it the old college try one more time. We could have tried that, but. Hey,
I ain't in charge of the books.
They ain't got my money. My money is at the bank. But let's go ahead and keep this thing going. So Keith asked another question. He said, and this one is interesting. He said, as far as the NBA is concerned, is it real or has it become another soap opera like wrestling? The finals did not feel believable to me. Here is my short answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
In my opinion, the majority of all popular sports, and I'm talking about the NBA, NFL, I can't say MLB because it's skill on skill at that point. I mean, all of them are, but
that was more intense. I feel baseball is just. I mean, you can't really exaggerate that. Yeah, I was about.
Yeah, because you got a team like the Dodgers who went on a mad slide this year. And then you got a team like the Yankees who just got spanked by the Orioles. But I ain't going to go there, though. I ain't going to go there. But in my opinion, in all popular sports, and I'm talking about the NBA and the NFL, it has a scripted element. I'm not going to say it's fully scripted because I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But I really feel like they have a scripted element to it. But at the end of the day, it's about that bottom line. It's about the bottom line, man. In the great words of the legendary group, Wu-Tang Clan, cash rules everything around me. Cream, gotta get the money.
Dollar bills, y'all. Good.
and in my opinion, granted, I haven't watched the finals since 2012, but I wasn't really enthused about the finals this year myself.
I mean, we just got to be. I think. I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay. I was almost done.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My bad. You know how us is.
You know how us peoples are. I haven't watched the finals since 2012 and whatnot, and honestly, my opinion about anything about this question really should be taken with a grain of salt because honestly, I'm not a basketball guy, but at the same time, in my opinion, a lot of these leagues are really becoming they have the essence of WWE. But you can go ahead, you can take it.
Yeah. I mean, Keith's the one that asked the question. I think we just got to be real about what happened this past finals. Dallas. Dallas is not so much of a blessed place, Here you
go. Here you go. I've been waiting on this one.
Yeah, so Dallas don't have the most, historical wins. They're not a consistent winning city. So if you start there and then you put in the point where okay, we know Luka is the real deal. I feel like, he's gonna come to play each and every night. Well, they got Kyrie. And honestly, I think Kyrie has fell off ever since he's been trying to figure out whether the earth is flat or not. Which I encourage him to not be a philosopher and to be a basketball player. Hey. But
he just told that dude nicely to shut up.
I mean, because the basketball that you're playing with is round. So, I mean, I don't know, but nevertheless, nevertheless, it just wasn't good. And honestly, Boston played good basketball all year round. Y'all can say that they had the easiest way to the championship, however, but they still won basketball games, and they wasn't winning at every moment of every basketball game that they played throughout the playoffs. They came back from some point deficit, and yeah, so I feel like Boston was the better team that won. I mean, yes, the finals was boring, it was trash. They allowed Dallas to win one game at home so they can win it back at Boston. I understand that, but I don't think. See, the NFL, I feel like is more of a scripted than the NBA.
Yeah.
Just a tad bit. But it was just a boring finals, Keith. I just think it was Dallas didn't supposed to be there. Honestly, I think the Timberwolves would have played better. And the reason why I say that is because they had defense. And I think Ant would have wanted it more than Kyrie. I mean, Kyrie, you cannot score 12 points. You can't. I mean, you're a superstar, quote unquote. You're better than Curry, as some people say. Which I don't know where they get that from. But, I mean, when you're being the issue, you're constantly being in the post game, and they're trying to understand why you're not showing up, and you're promising them that, okay, I'll show up along with Luka. You're leaving Luka out there all alone. Luka got 30 points, 25 plus points every night. Here you go dropping 12 and 15. You can't win like that. I mean, so I just think they just got beat. They got whooped, and made it real boring. So that's what's causing all the questions.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, definitely,
they ain't supposed to be there.
Like, I agree with you on that. I really thought the Timberwolves really had a shot to make it to the finals, but that ain't what the script writers wanted. But anyway,
I don't know. They did whatever they wrote. Maybe they were doing it for dirt, but at the same time, I mean, hey,
you still got to show up, regardless of who in front of you. You still got to show up.
Got to show up.
All right. So our final question. Speaking of the Boston Celtics, Corey Johnson, he has, is Jason Tatum the face of the NBA, or is he overrated? So,
please, Ariel. No, I'm stop.
So this argument goes. Well, before I go there, so James he answered the question. James Collins, when our day was, all of my day was, but James Collins been there since the beginning. He kind of answered the question in his own way. He said neither. He is right where he needs to be. That's why he didn't win Finals MVP. The franchise, referring to the Boston Celtics, is overrated, and they had an easy road to the championship. And then he said they're the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA. Good God Almighty. So here's my take. So I had to research. This is the one I had to research on, and this argument really goes back some years. Countless Reddit posts, YouTube videos, etc., making the argument that Jason Tatum is indeed overrated. My problem with said argument is that while he has come up short in big moments, he's only 26 years old, bro.
Exactly.
He's only 26. He's entering his prime. He won a ring with the Celtics. And just to take a dig at you LeBron fans, besides the LeBron sexuals will not allow another person to be anointed the face of the NBA. Even if his name was Stephen. You can have it.
Oh, man. Is Jason Tatum the face of NBA? No. I don't think so. I really can't say who's the face of the NBA because there's a lot of guys that I think is the face of the NBA during the regular season. So I really can't say who, but I don't think it's Jason. Is he overrated? No. And here's the problem. I think this is where the confusion is coming in at. Celtics. The Boston Celtics. They drafted Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum a year apart.
Mm-hmm.
That team, I mean, there was times where Boston was blowing out teams during this playoffs, and Jason Tatum only had 10 points. So the difference between, let's say, the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics is that, okay, Kyrie can't score 10 points and the Dallas Mavericks win. He can't do it. But if you look at the Celtics, they have a lot more scorers. They got Derek White, they got Jaylen Brown. I'm probably missing a few, but that's enough in itself. I feel like if Jaylen Brown throughout the game has a great first half, you can pretty much say that the game is over, because you never know when Jason Tatum is going to fire up anyway. So
now when he fires up,
yeah, exactly.
Just saying.
In a short answer, I just feel like the roster of the Celtics makes Jason Tatum look like he's nothing because he doesn't have to do much to win. You know what I mean? They don't have to. He doesn't have to constantly be the top scorer of that team in order for them to win basketball games. That's not his fault. That just means they've got a lot of great players on that team that can carry the load without him doing anything.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, he may be a tad overrated if you're saying, okay, he's the face of the NBA or whatever. I don't think so. But as far as like downplaying his gameplay, now, dude, he doesn't show up as much as I would like him to during the playoffs or during some games. I mean, but at the same time, man, you look at that roster, dog. I mean, you can't he doesn't have to do anything most of the time. And when he does, I mean, it's a great night. But in some scenarios, man, I mean, the team already had 20, 25-point lead on some of these teams throughout this playoffs. And I mean, what's the point of him having to do anything if you already win?
And I looked up the stats from this past playoff run, the entire run. I see Jason Tatum's name up here a lot, either with high points or high rebounds or high assists. I know in the first game against Miami, he had a triple-double. He went 23, 10, and 10. Yeah.
I feel like he's still the leader of this team.
Yeah.
But his teammates know how to step up.
I mean, he got a good supporting cast.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
that's really what it is, man. I mean, that's truly what it is, man. It's just a great supporting cast, dog. I mean,
yeah. And then honestly, I feel like a lot of the hatred is not because of Jason Tatum. It's because of the Celtics organization as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this goes back to the Larry Bird days. I ain't gonna front. If you didn't like the Celtics, you like the Lakers. If you didn't like the Lakers, you like the Celtics. And then you had Dwayne Wade making a comment about the 2008 Celtics. You know, he congratulated them for their one chip, but they beat your guys to get to that chip though.
Yeah.
But that was a good question though. I mean, I had a lot more to say about it, but I'm like, man, I'm not a basketball dude, but just looking at the stats alone, there was times he had the most points on the team per game. I know in the actual finals, 20. Let me see. 31 points, game 3, then 15, game 4, and then 31, game 5.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't think that's the problem, man. I think he just got a great team, dog. I really do. Yeah. We'll see if any of those pieces leave and he's on his own, and then we can kind of say he's a little overrated. But until then, with that great supporting cast that he got, I don't think he'll ever, in my book, be an overrated player.
No, especially if he contribute the way I'm looking at the stats, the way he's contributed, especially doing that. But it's neither here nor there. Like we always say on this show, it remains to be seen.
If somebody get you there, you do the rest.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you drop me off at the store, I'm going to go in the store because that's where I wanted to go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll take you to the store and I'll come home.
I'm not going to expect you. I'm not going to give you the money and be like, hey, go get that bag of hot fries for me on the second shelf on aisle 16. Come on now. If I ask you to drop me off at the store, that's what I'm going to go do myself. And that's why I feel like it's a case of. I feel like it's more of a case that I don't like the Celtics type stuff.
I think so. I think so too. But honestly, man, they won all year long, man. I mean, they won number one in the conference for no reason. Right. You know, so they balled out. They deserved it. I mean, it was time. Yeah. And this isn't the first time that the Celtics has been to the finals over the past 5-6 years. I think we just talked about that a few shows ago. So. I mean, they've been to the playoffs. They've been to, I think, one other championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was time.
It was time for them to go ahead and break through. And then I could see if Jason Tatum was like 33 and he'd have been on his 6th team trying to chase that one ring. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. But the man is on 26, man.
He's kind of been, if I'm not mistaken, since Jason Tatum been in the league, he's been to almost every playoff of his career. So,
that doesn't say overrated. Now I'm not going to say. So. I mean, people going to point to the fact, well, he doesn't show up in the big game. Okay, a lot of athletes just don't show up, or the pieces around him don't show up, or the coaching doesn't show up. So that overrated argument bothers me.
It takes time for a team to learn how to win together collectively.
Yeah,
and I think. The last few years, they was learning that. I mean, but this year they understood that we had to come and play ball every single night, and that they could have swept. They could have swept Dallas.
They could have swept them before.
Now that was NBA script because they probably wanted them to win back in Boston. Honestly, They could have been done with the Dallas Mavericks.
Right,
a game early. But you know what I'm saying. Nevertheless, I was coach. I'll tell them go and whoop them right here. We go home and celebrate. We ain't got to go and celebrate. We go home. We go home and celebrate.
Like my dog will speak to them in the locker room. Like, man, let's get this over with. You know what I'm saying?
It's been a long season. You play 82 games. Well, they didn't change it now. They got all these play-ins, play-outs, and all that stuff. Get this mess over with. But nevertheless, they drug it out one more game. Went to Boston, won the chip. So. And they whooped them. You know what I mean? So
107-89, 105-98, 106-99, 106-88. Come on, man.
I mean, they was beating them. I mean, so it was time for the Boston Celtics to go ahead and get that chip. And I wouldn't be surprised, my early prediction for the NBA, if the Celtics is number one again next year in the East.
That might, hey, you got to put this on wax. I mean, it's already on wax, but still, it's up there. But we're gonna go ahead. I think we could go ahead and call it right now. So, in the comments, let us know what y'all think about these questions, man. Let us know if we got it right, we was right there, or we were just dead wrong. Let us know in the comments, and also, if you want to get in on our next questions from the War Room, how about go on Facebook and join the War Room? That's the way you can get in there. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But again, thank you to everybody that watches the show, everybody that comments. Man, let me tell y'all a quick story. So I was at Food Lion, right? Get ready to get some lunch and whatever. Panera Bread got this nice chicken noodle soup that is real good. Oh. And I get out, went and got my stuff, got it in the car, and this guy, Carolina Panthers fan, asked me about the Panthers. He's like, what you think we're going to do? And I'm like, I like, y'all did address the offensive line. And I gave him that whole spiel. Hopefully, if he's watching this show, hopefully that you became a subscriber and also joined the War Room. That way, next time we do our special with the questions, you can jump on board. So we looking for you, bro. Anything you want to add, man?
Nothing, man. Just welcome to the show, Carolina. That's about the only thing I got. I ain't gonna.
Welcome to the show, brother.
I ain't gonna get on you quite yet. I'm gonna let you walk up to it quite yet.
I'm gonna say that for the football season. People, everybody at church, man. Why you always talk about the Panthers? I said, cause they ain't do nothing. That cat need to be shaved. You need to put a landing strip on it. Don't put no nair on it, cause what's gonna happen is it's gonna burn a little bit. Then your pH balance will get thrown off. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and jump out of here.
Okay.
We gonna jump out.
We got some health classes going on, y'all, at the Backwood Sports Podcast. If you want to know.
Hey, y'all never know when we throw one out there, man. I'm just saying, like, shoot, wait till we start our Patreon. Y'all gonna get some unfiltered, straight up in your face, rah type stuff. You know, I ain't gonna be like the Carolina Pussycats. I ain't gonna do all that. You know, I'm gonna come out. But my bad.
Shot him dead, boy.
You know, I got to end the show joking on somebody's team, man. But yeah, but football season, I save it for the Steelers. I got to see what they gonna do first. I got you.
Start it.
I ain't gonna start with you. I ain't gonna mess with you now, cause y'all, you know, y'all quiet. You know, y'all ain't been saying nothing. But you know, I got you. Don't worry about it. But we gonna go and jump on out of here. This has been the Bad Puss Puss Podcast with your man Fonz.
Quan.
And we out, y'all.